the new changes which has been incorporated. Yes. Yeah. So if you can just tell me which department you belong to, which department you belong to. Yes. Okay. So I see people from operations, finance, supply chain, quality, IT, HR, engineering, others. Okay, fine. That's great. Thanks a lot. And which industry? So are you from healthcare? Are you from? I'll just give you one more poll, and if you can just answer that poll, that will be great. And okay, so thanks a lot. I'll just yeah, just give me 1 minute. I'll ask you one more question, and then we'll start the training. And I just want to. Yes, the second question which I would like you to answer is, yeah, which industry you belong to. So here, so people from healthcare. Oh, a lot of people from healthcare also have participated. Special welcome to you. I would have begun. I think I had circulated to message to some of the doctors in Middle East and Saudi Arabia, and I think thanks to them, we have got a lot of people from healthcare today. So I'll put special emphasis on the healthcare part. So I've got around 25% people from manufacturing and 25% from healthcare. Okay. And okay, and just let me know if anyone has given reference, like did anyone forward this email to you? You can just name that person so I can say special thanks to them. Okay, great. Thanks a lot, and good. So now today, I would like to formally welcome you, and let us begin our training program. And thanks for joining our training session of Yellow Belt. You will be learning what is Lean, what is Six Sigma. You will become a Yellow Belt after this training, and we will be starting with the introduction of the company. I will introduce myself. Maybe 5 minutes I will take for that, so that you trust me, so that you know you have come to the right place. And then after that, I would be talking about what are the Lean Six Sigma benefits, and when we will introduce you to the Lean and Six Sigma. Then we will talk about DMAC, because if you are a Lean Six Sigma yellow belt or a green belt or a black belt, you should know what the DMAC is. Define, measure, analyze, improve, and control. It's a phase-wise approach of doing a project. So what is Lean Six Sigma? Lean Six Sigma is a project-oriented technique to improve a process. I'll explain that in great detail. And then after that, we will go into the applications in different industries. I'll show you 2 or 3 examples. As I teach you today the tools and techniques, I will take you through one case study. And then I'll maybe take some lean topics. Here, maybe I'll try to take example of healthcare. So first with manufacturing, it will be a mix of manufacturing, services, healthcare, or rather, because we have 50% from services and manufacturing today, what we can do is, I will take a neutral example, something like recruitment cycle time reduction. So as I told you, Lean and Six Sigma is about improving a process using a project approach. Improving a process using project approach. That is what is Lean Six Sigma. Okay, first, now I think most of you have joined in. It takes time, you know, first 15 minutes, people keep joining in. So don't worry, you have not lost much. I would like to give you a formal welcome. And here it is.
Hi, welcome to Anexas. Anexas has been consulting and training the professionals in the organizations around the world since 2006. And we have trained more than 150,000 people and consulted for more than 500 organizations, which includes Fortune 100 organizations too. I'm Amitabh Saxena, and I have designed this program based on my 30 years of experience while working in various industries across many domains. The whole Anexas team once again joins me in welcoming you.
Once again, welcome, welcome, welcome. Yes. So thanks, Adnan. Thanks, Ashma. Thanks, Adal. Aviation industry. Okay, you are from Hassan. Okay, fine, great. So, Bhagya. Okay, you have asked the question how business analysis and product management is different from each other. Okay, so I think let's talk about Lean and Six Sigma today. Okay, then you can ask me questions towards the end. So the whole idea is to talk about Lean Six Sigma today. Yeah. About the organization, we have been around for the last 17 years, and we have conducted training program for the top 5 petrochemical companies, top 10 biggest hospitals of Middle East, then top 10 banks, and top 10 logistics companies, top 10 IT companies in Middle East and Europe. We have got clients in US, Australia, and almost everywhere. And we have trained 150,000 people around the world, thanks to the Zoom. Okay, I'm a chemical engineer, MBA. I was working, if I take you back around 32 years, 33 years ago, I started working in 12-hour per day shift. Was earning just $30 per month. I am, by the way, amateur poet. I still write poetry. I'm coming from one event. It's a event of entrepreneurship startup, but they asked me to recite poetry. That's the way it is. Anyway, I was hardworking those days. I wanted to earn a lot of money, but it appeared that I was not working smart. So I found interesting way of increasing my earnings, and that came as a way of an opportunity. In fact, my organization told that they are going to train the top 10 performers in the organization as black belts, Lean Six Sigma black belts. So I thought I was one of the top 10 performers, but unfortunately the organization did not think so. So I was not nominated in that first batch of Lean Six Sigma training. But the good thing what I saw was this Lean Six Sigma trained professionals, these black belts, were able to improve the organization's processes after they completed their projects. So they underwent a training and then they did a project. And each project sometimes saved sometimes $500,000 to even $1 million. So this motivated me, and I was waiting for the next batch, but next batch never happened. So I thought, why don't I invest myself? And I invested a lot of money, traveled to distance places, where those days very few organizations used to give Lean Six Sigma training. I completed a project also. I became a black belt, and as I said before you, as a master black belt today, of course, I'm a data scientist also, PMP, CPHQ, and I conduct training programs in all these. Whatever I learn, I try to teach. So I also conduct data science programs, project management training programs, CPHQ training programs, strategic management training programs. I've got 32 or rather 33 years of experience, and consulted for more than 200 organizations around the world. And that includes some of the best organizations, Fortune 100 companies. And yes, why I'm telling you all these things? Because I think that you have got much more potential. There are many opportunities in front of you today. And if you become certified in Lean and Six Sigma, it can do wonders. And why it can do wonders, you will get convinced after 2.5 hours of training. So once you become a yellow belt, you will be knowing the tools and techniques, what usual green belt or black belt does. And a green belt and black belt, of course, they would have practiced the tools and techniques. That's why they are able to apply these tools and techniques, which you are going to just know about today. So as a yellow belt, we don't expect you to do any project. Just be aware of the tools and techniques. So you are going to learn lots of tools and techniques, and I'm sure you can achieve whatever I have achieved, plus much more, because the opportunities are much more. You will be learning not only from my experience, but also from what my students have achieved, because last 22 years I have been conducting training programs, and my students have achieved their achievements are much more than mine, and I keep learning from them, and I'm going to put all this experience today in my training program. Some photographs around the world just to prove that I've been conducting training programs. I take pride in telling that I was the first person to conduct Lean and Six Sigma Black Belt program anywhere in Middle East. So first training program was done by me. This was, incidentally, that was for a hospital. In fact, a lot of doctors and nurses in Saudi Arabia's Riyadh region, they came together to attend a training program which I had launched in King Khalid Eye Specialist Hospital, but people from various hospitals joined that. And yes, since then, I've been doing lots of training programs in Saudi Arabia, Middle East, Qatar, almost all the Middle East GC countries. This is Novartis, the largest pharmaceutical company. This is Engineers Forum. This is, so worldwide. Yeah, I think you got convinced. Won a lot of awards also in various forums and appeared on TV shows. We have got.
Hi, I'm Shekhar Suman, and I wish to congratulate all the Six Sigma certified black belt from Anexas. All the best.
Yeah, this Z Business TV show is actually very much there on YouTube. If you want, you can search for it.
On 21st of May 2019,
and
I'm going to...
And lots of clients, railways, petrochemical industries,
It's an honor
to manufacturing, healthcare, and I'll talk about all these things. I've been writing in newspaper columns. Now, let us look at what are the benefits of Lean and Six Sigma. Let's begin with that. Can you find some similarities here? Manufacturing company improves production by 30%. A hospital reduces discharge time of patients from 3 hours to 15 minutes. 64% reduction in recruitment time in a multinational company. Hotel improves customer experience and increases bookings to almost 2 times. A bank reduces errors and cycle times by 80% with enhanced CSAT, customer satisfaction, and insurance claims reduced. Time reduced by 70%. What are the similar things? What are the similar things you see here? What are the similar things you observe here? So improvement, yes. So Muhammad Yusuf, you're right. Rakesh is telling time savings. Teja Kodari, you're talking about improvement. Yes, almost everyone is right. Yes, it's all about improvements and all about Lean and Six Sigma. Yes, Afshar, Suresh, Adil, Omar. Yes, almost everyone is right. Yes. So a lot of companies have benefited from our training programs, and these are some of the clients. Voice of customer. What do the customer want? In fact, what Lean and Six Sigma, Green Belt and Black Belt is capable of doing, it could reduce your costs, defects, it can reduce waste, it can reduce your rework, it can reduce your cycle time, it can improve your quality, production efficiency, productivity, customer satisfaction, capacity, profitability, resilience. And which CEO would not like a person who can achieve all these wonders? So Lean Six Sigma is a person, or Green Belt or Black Belt is a person who can achieve all these wonders. How? By taking improvement projects. Okay. How it started? Let me talk about how it started.
Hi, I'm Amit.
It started in Motorola. And would you like to learn the history of Lean and Six Sigma? A little bit? 1 or 2 minutes on Lean Six Sigma? Okay, thanks, Afsar. You're saying yes. Okay, so let us.
Green belts and black belts are those individuals who can do improvement projects in the organization by choosing improvement opportunities and converting these improvement opportunities into projects. It all started in Motorola when Bob Galvin, the CEO, took a challenge saying that I would like to improve everything by 5 times in the organization. And he was told about some statistical tools and techniques which Bill Smith and Michael Harry were using to improve the processes. Bob Galvin was so much impressed with what Bill Smith and Michael Harry were doing, he told them to develop a methodology which if applied to the organizational processes, can improve the processes. So he was particularly impressed with what Bill Smith and Michael Harry were doing. They were choosing improvement projects. Now, what is the definition? As I told you, definition of a project is it has a starting point, it has an end point, it doesn't exist after some time. So Bill Smith and Michael Harry would translate the improvement opportunities in the organization to projects, and applying tools and techniques of statistics, they would find the root causes of the problem, and then after solving the root causes of the problem would impact the organizational bottom line. Both of them developed Six Sigma DMAC methodology. They started training the green belts and black belts. Green belts and black belts were the people who could fight all the quality related problems in the organizations. Six Sigma brought in a lot of benefits for Motorola, and it also won Malcolm Baldrige Award in 1988. Jack Welch of GE was so much impressed with this methodology that he told his employees that you would not be promoted if you are not a green belt. So everyone wanted to be a green belt, everyone started doing projects. Then GE started telling their vendors and suppliers that if you want to have business from GE, you need to implement Six Sigma. So vendors also started asking what is Six Sigma, and GE would say that we will send our master black belts and train you in this methodology. So in this manner, Lean Six Sigma spread out around the world, and today almost 80% of the Fortune 100 companies and many, many more companies around the world have implemented Six Sigma and Lean. Lean started in Toyota. Hi.
Okay, so that was about the history of Lean and Six Sigma. Hello, Prem Singh, how are you? Yeah, Ramesh, yeah, thank you. Thanks for your response. Okay, so let us look at what is Lean now. What is Lean? Yeah. And what is Six Sigma? And what we learn as a green belt and black belt, when you attend my green belt and black belt sessions, you become a master of these tools and techniques, and you can apply these tools and techniques to improve any process in any industry. So there is a subtle difference between Lean and Six Sigma. Both are improvement methodologies, and we try both together. Okay, so let's first learn simple words. What is Lean? Lean is about map the process as is. As is means what is taking place now. Go to the field, go to the place of action, and see how the things are taking place, and then map the process. Mapping means write down how the things are done, and try to identify the wasteful steps. And you will be surprised to know that 70 to 80% of the steps which are today part of your process are waste. They're not adding any value. They're not adding any value. And try to eliminate this waste as much as possible so that you can reduce the cycle times and also reduce the errors. And that is known as Lean. Simple words. Yeah. Now let us learn some technique, learn some jargons. Yeah. So when you go to the field and observe how the people are doing work, you say that you are doing a Gemba investigation. Gemba means go to the field. Gemba means, in Japanese means go to the field, go where the action is. Right. And there are 7 or 8 kinds of waste in the system. We are not talking about the waste which you throw in the dustbin every day. There are 7 or 8 kinds of waste. Waiting, transportation, overprocessing. See, sometimes to remember that, you can remember Tim Woods or I Swim Too. Now, these are the acronyms for 8 waste, like inventory, rework, underutilized resources, overproduction, waiting, transportation, overprocessing. These are all examples of waste. So how do you identify the waste? First, you have to understand who is your customer. Identify your customer, and everyone can identify the customer. And look at what the customer wants as a value from your product or the service. See, all the organizations in the world are either producing a product or they are producing a service. There is no third type of output in the whole world. Either it's a product or a service. Whatever product or service you are producing or you're giving to the organization, you have to first identify what is the value. What is the value customer is looking at? No, they will never tell you. Okay. Suppose you're manufacturing car. Now, when the car is sold to the customer, you are manufacturing a car. What is the car? What is the value customer is deriving from the car? Maybe fast transportation, maybe comfort as you move around. Yeah, so this is the value. So I identify the value. In a hospital, what is the value a customer is actually like when a customer or patient goes to the hospital, what's the value? Value is to get treated for some particular discomfort or a disease. So that is the value. And in order to provide the value, you are following multiple steps, but many steps are not directly adding any values. These are known as waste. These are known as wasteful steps that you have to identify. How do I identify? It's very difficult to identify such waste. It's not easy. So for that, you need to use a technique called identification of 8 waste. By the way, there are 3 criteria to qualify for a task to be a value-added task. Customer should be willing to pay for it. It should be uh, it should be transitioning the input and bringing it closer to the output. That is the second criteria, and it should be done right the first time. Means if you are doing a rework, if you are doing something, you are committing a mistake and you are correcting it and again redoing it and then doing the right job, actually you wasted the time and money and resources of the organization while committing the mistake. Whatever you produce and which was defective is of no use to the company. So you wasted the money of the organization, and that is what is known as reducing the that is waste. And try to reduce this rework. Rework is a waste. Delay is a waste. Anything we are waiting for, let's say I'm waiting for the work permit before I start the work. It is waiting time. Waiting time is a waste. Yeah. I'm waiting for my previous step to complete the job. It's a waste, right? So anything which the customer is not willing to pay for is waste. Like for example, right now you're my customer, and what is the value you are looking at? You are looking at the value here is the knowledge, right? Knowledge of tools, techniques, knowledge of what is yellow belt, a certification. Maybe all these things are the value you are looking at. Now, to deliver that value, if I tell you that I'm going to travel to, to your city, I'm going to book a hotel, I'm going to take a flight, I'm going to take a taxi. Taking a taxi, booking a flight, taking a flight, staying in the hotel is not adding any value to you as a customer. You are looking at the downloading of the information from my brain to your brain, right? That's what that's what is the value for you. So identifying the value, first you have a look at your process and process steps. What are the steps you are today undertaking which are actually not involved in creating the value for the customer? Eliminate them, remove them. And as I told you in the beginning, 60 to 70% of the steps are like that. They are not adding any value. Try to identify them. That is what is known as VA and NVA, value added and non-value added analysis. Non-value added steps are also known as, muda in Japanese. Non-value added are also known as muda in Japanese. So if I look here, there are 7 waste: overproduction, waiting, transportation, overprocessing, inventory, rework, underutilized resources. Waste of intelligence. Intelligence is a waste, like in the sense, if you waste intelligence, you've got your organization has got a lot of intellectual power. People have studied, they have got experience, but the organization fails to use this intelligence. That means it's a waste, right? So identify those kinds of waste present in your system, and you will be, you can reduce the time, reduce the errors, and improve the efficiency. This is what is lean. Okay. A lot of other tools you use like 5S and okay. I don't think there is time to tell you about 5S, but I will be happy to give you a video. So there's in the chat box, my team will put a video called 5S. What is 5S? Watch that video. I'll be giving you lots of videos. Okay, right now. Watch these videos and you can enhance upon your knowledge. You much more than what yellow belt knows, right? And then you also do poka-yoke. Poka-yoke means mistake proofing. Even by mistake, you cannot commit a mistake. Yeah. Would you like to take some examples from healthcare? Like, up to you. I just wanted to, because I know people from manufacturing are there, healthcare are there. So let's have a balance. Sometimes healthcare, sometimes. Oh, okay, just wait till the end. After now, I think 2 hours. We still have 2 hours left. So towards the last, say, 15 or 20 minutes, I will try to give you some examples of waste from healthcare. Then uh, some examples from, I will try to give in manufacturing. If you wait a little bit more, after 2.5 hours also, if you wait still, I would be happy to tell you about some case studies. And so industries, like how it is applicable to telecom, how is it applicable to logistics, how is it applicable to manufacturing video, just you saw in the beginning. So how it is applicable to banking, IT, it's applicable everywhere. Now coming to the Six Sigma part. Six Sigma part means reducing the variation. Reducing the variation. Yeah. So no one likes variation, right? So just to revise, we talked about 7 or 8 wastes. Yeah, these were the 7 or 8 wastes: overproduction, waiting, transportation, overprocessing, trying to reduce it. That's lean. Now coming to the Six Sigma part. Six Sigma part means you have to first identify what the customer wants. What are the specific, every product or a service. As I told you, see, I told you in the beginning, think of your organization. You execute a series of steps, which we will call it as process, okay? And you deliver an output. The series of process steps, they deliver an output. This output is either in the form of I'm telling you, I'm giving you the model of all the organizations in this whole world, right? Output. Either a product or a process. Sorry, a product or a service. So, yeah. Whole day I was conducting the training actually today. So either a product or a service. Okay. The output goes to the customer. Customer, I'm just representing as a factor symbol, so customer. Customer will give feedback to your planning department, scheduling department, strategy department. Yeah. So planning or strategy department. Yeah. And this feedback, once received from the customer, and also the demand of the product or the service from the customer. It's applicable everywhere: manufacturing, banking, IT, healthcare, everywhere. See, I'm talking about the model of all the companies, all the organizations in the world, educational institutions, universities, everywhere. I'm talking about the generic model. That's the best part of Lean and Six Sigma. You learn about every industry. The tools and techniques are applied to all industries. Emirates Airlines, they are my client. Warner Brothers, they are my clients. Ferrari World. Then we have Oman National Bank. Then Bank Muscat. Then King Fahd Medical City. Then we have got International Medical Center, and so on. So many. So they are, so I'm trying to tell you that, these models which you are seeing are actually generic in nature, and they don't belong to a particular industry. So planning and strategy department will receive the feedback. And once you receive that feedback, then after that, what you do, planning department will tell the suppliers to supply the raw materials and the inputs, right? Or I'll just write full inputs, no problems. Inputs. These inputs are processed to generate the output. This is known as a systems approach given by Deming. Dr. Deming, he was a quality guru. He found that most of the people in the organization, they have got silo approach. This is my department. I come in the morning, I finish my 10 things, and I feel happy and go away. Go back to home. And this is how I'm working. No, that is not a silo approach. Silo approach means I'm only thinking about my job or my department. Systems approach means you have to think about the whole system. So your organization is like a system. It operates as a system, right? And there has to be continuous flow in the whole system. If there is continuous flow in the whole system, that means that the system is disease-free, like the way when you're breathing continuously. A healthy person breathes continuously, isn't it? Continuously at a good pace. But if you're not well, then usually your breathing changes, the pattern changes. Sometimes it gets blocked also. So in such situations, whenever there's a blockage of your breathing, you will find that usually you'll not be well. Similarly, if there is a blockage of material flow, like there's material is stuck, so that will be inventory. Then there would be some work in process. Work in process also in inventory. Or you store too many things here in anticipation of maybe I will be having shortage of material. You will buy a lot of things, build up inventory. Inventory is a waste because it is wasting your money. Your money is getting stuck. Then here you look at the output. A lot of products I have finished. I have manufactured lots of cars just in case I need in future, but a lot of money is stuck now. Yeah. So you have to produce just in time. Just in time is whenever there is a demand, you get the inputs. Yeah. When the car is sold, then I will tell my mining company to mine the steel. Right. This is such as like whole supply chain is linked. You're pulling. Customer is pulling a car or a service. I'm talking about, say, like in a banking, you don't keep on having extra funds unnecessarily, even the customer is not asking for. So let the customer pull the output, and when the customer pulls, then only this process will pull, then the previous process. So every step pulls from previous process. I will do the job only there is a demand created by the next process, right? So this is a concept of flow, just in time. It reduces the work in process inventory also. These are all things, basic concepts. This is, as I told you, systems map, also known as systems map, also known as value stream mapping, value stream map, VSM, value stream map. Okay. These are some basics I just wanted to tell you. Now, coming back to the one important thing which you need to learn, the outputs, all the outputs in the world, either a product or a service, will have certain characteristics. And some of the measures on the output, whatever, think of whatever output you are producing. Yeah. Bank, you're producing accounts, you're producing transactions. Yeah. Hospitals, you're producing treated patients, right? If you're an education company, you're producing knowledgeable students. I hope you are able to correlate. Now, there are three main measures. For every product or service, the customer would be interested in. One would be the time, like, make it fast, speed. Another is errors. No errors, please. Yeah. Whatever I told you, you should do exactly the same thing. And another is cost, means you should do all these things at a very less cost. So these three measures always will be there. And apart from that, there could be many very specific, like if we are manufacturing chocolates. The weight of the chocolate would be another measure. Now we call these measures as CTQ, critical to quality characteristics. Critical to quality characteristics. Sometimes they're now also known as KPIs, key performance indicators. Okay. Or KR, key results. Sometimes some companies. OKR, objectives and key results. These are different names of same concept. Yeah. So what we have understood is we can measure. One more thing, you can't improve. Let me give you 3 rules. Yeah, you can't improve if you cannot measure. That is one rule number 1. Second rule is, okay, let me ask you a question. Do you think everything can be measured? Do you think everything can be measured? Okay, some people are telling no, yes, confusion. Okay, let me tell you simple. Rule number 1 is you can't improve if you cannot measure. The rule number 2 is everything can be measured. Yep. Everything can be measured. That is a rule. That is a rule. Please remember. Okay. Everything can be measured. Now you'll ask me, how can I measure certain things you have in mind? You say, well, I cannot measure. I cannot measure. Can you tell me something which you cannot measure? Tell me something which you cannot measure. And I'll tell you. And I'll tell you how to measure everything. Okay. I'll tell you how to measure everything. Yes. So in the chat box, if you see, it's 5S methodology, a link has been given. Please watch that video. Save these videos. You know, if you're on laptop, please save these links to watch later. You will learn a lot. You'll be more knowledgeable person. Okay, so thoughts cannot be measured. Surya Prakash is telling. Customer satisfaction cannot be measured. Raju Gupta is telling. Okay. So I'll give you a trick how to measure everything. Okay. Just wait a little bit. But before that, let me explain to you in brief what is Six Sigma. Then I will come back to the measure part. Because Six Sigma and measure are correlated. They are highly correlated. First, very simple way I will explain. Then after that, I will explain using jargons or the statistics. Today we are going to learn statistics. Okay? Lots of statistics you will be learning. Next 45 minutes, you will learn a lot of statistics today. I hope you are fine with that. It is going to help you. See, statistics is everywhere. Analysis is everywhere. You may like it or not like it. But the way better is you like it. And usually, if you come to the institute like Anexas, we make sure that you start liking it. You start liking statistics, you start liking mathematics, you start liking data, right? Okay, so now, whenever you ask customer will tell you some voice. Voice means, I want something within this time or within this quality. Let us take an example of chocolates. You are manufacturing chocolates. Customer says, I want chocolate to be weighing 100 grams. Okay. 100 gram chocolate is a large packet of chocolate, 100 grams. Of course, it can't be 100 grams always. So they give some tolerance. They say, well, 100 grams plus minus 3 grams. One packet should be 100 plus minus 3 grams. So I have got lower specification limit, LSL, lower specification limit. We call it as lower specification limit. Okay. And we have got upper specification limit. So lower specification limit is here. How much? 100 minus 3 grams, that is 97. And then we have got, oh, Paul is already ahead of time. She's written already. And it is 103. Yes, very good. 97 and 103. Yes. Yeah. And these are the limits set by the customer. Means he's unhappy if you give him less than 97 grams, and if he's unhappy, you see, your management is also your customer. So they are unhappy if you give more than 103. Now, if I collect the samples of the chocolates, most of the chocolates are 100 grams. Okay. But some are going up to 101, like very, very few. 100 and okay, let me take one scenario. Some of the chocolates are going beyond 97 and 103. Instead of making a histogram, means, instead of this is known as histogram. The frequency charts which I just made is known as histograms. I can make a distribution curve. Distribution curve means it looks like this. Probability distribution curve, right? Probability distribution curve. So the histogram, this is also known as normal curve. Normal means normally you will see a normal curve. Normal means it's a bell-shaped curve, inverted type bell-shaped curve. Yeah. So you have 100 grams. Most of the chocolates are 100 grams, but some are going up to 105 and some are going up to 95. So these are all defective chocolates. These are the chocolates which are dissatisfying the customer. Yeah. So that is what. You will not like a process like this. You would love to have a process where there is no defect. Everything is within the specification. So tell me, this process represented with green is better, or the process, let me put it as, let's say, a blue. Process with blue is better. Which is better? The blue process is better. Yes, Mohammed Usif Kamlesh is telling, yes, Paul. Why blue is better? Because it is not producing any defects. It is not going beyond the specification limits. Okay. So this curve, which I just drew, are actually the voice of process. Process is expressing itself. Process is expressing itself. You collect the data of the chocolates, and chocolates are behaving. So let's say green process, a process represented by green one. The voice of process is that I'm going to behave between 97 grams to 105 grams. This is known as voice of process. Voice of process. And this LSL and USL is known as voice of customer. I hope you are understanding. Voice of customer is, give me 97 to 103 grams. And what is process? Green process is telling, I will give you between 95 to 105. This is the way you have trained your operators, the way you have maintained your machine, the way you have created your standard operating procedures. I will deliver between 97 to 105 grams. Yeah, that's the way I am. That is voice of process. So voice of process should fit within the customer specification limit. Customer is happy. Like the blue process. Look at the voice of process of blue one. Blue process telling, I'm going to behave between 98 grams to 102 grams. Very, very nice. Yeah. Very, very nice. The whole idea is that. That's the whole idea. To reduce the variation. Reduce the variation is 6 sigma. because variation causes defects. Yeah. You go to McDonald's anywhere in the world, around the world, you'll find that they are almost, there is very less variation, even in burgers, the the colors of the hotel, the theme, the uniform, everything is same. No variation. That when there is no variation, it produces quality. You can predict. You go to New York or Dubai or Tokyo, McDonald's, anywhere, you will find that there is no variation. You can predict, you can be sure of. If I go to let's say St. Petersburg, let's say, and I'm looking for something to eat, I know the predictable quality and what I can expect from McDonald's. And blindly I can walk there and I know I'm going to get what. This is the kind of trust you build if you are consistent. Consistency means less variation. Another example, service industry variation. Let's say there are two companies, company A and company B. They are into plumbing, like let's say your tap is not working at home and you call company A. When you call company A, company says, yeah, I will send the plumber to you maybe in the next 3 to 6 days, but anytime between 8 to 5 p.m. Okay. And another company says the plumber will come tomorrow at 10:30 a.m. and he actually shows up at 10:30 a.m. And every time you call him, he shows up exactly at the same time what they promised. There's no variation. That means you will trust the company B more than A, isn't it? So trust builds up. So now coming back to the definition of Six Sigma. Definition of Six Sigma is reducing the variation or maintaining the variation within the voice of customer. So reducing the voice of process, or not like so reducing the voice of process. I'll say, reducing the variation in the voice of process so that the voice of process fits very well into the voice of customer. Specification limits is a Six Sigma. How will you achieve both the things, Lean and Six Sigma? You know what it is. How will you achieve? By using project approach. So whatever you want to improve in an organization, convert into a project. That's what we will be learning. Who will convert this? Green belt, black belt, and master black belts. As a yellow belt, you don't have to do anything, but just listen. That's it. You'll get the certificate. Yeah, I'll talk about how to get the certificate. There's a process there. Yes. Green belt, black belt, of course, you have to attend the sessions, thorough sessions. I conduct very, very detailed sessions and giving examples from all types of industries so that you become master. You'll become a master black belt. One of the few companies which conduct master black belt training programs is ours. So yellow belts know only the basics. Green belt know the basics and they are able to apply these basics to improve the process, and black belt know more tools, much more than a little bit advanced tools, techniques. And the master black belt, they are able to roll out Lean and Six Sigma in the organization. So this is how Lean, green belt, black belt, and master black belts operate. And you have to attend 3 days of training to become a green belt, 3 days of training to become a black belt, and 3 to 4 days of training to become a master black belt. And all can happen at one go, one after another. We also do a project in the classroom, the way we'll be doing now. So let us do a project. Now, today is the yellow belt. You don't have to do any calculations yourself, but just see how I'm doing it and how it is done. We'll attempt to learn these many tools. We'll learn about CPHQ. So we have define phase, measure phase, analyze, improve, and control. Define phase, you will be learning CPHQ and project charter. Measure phase, you will be learning types of data, normal distribution, control charts. And level C, in analyze phase, you will be learning cause and effect, Pareto, box plot, scatter plot, and process mapping. And in improve phase, you'll be learning about brainstorming. Maybe at least one brainstorming technique I'll tell you, or maybe I'll talk about some simple brainstorming rules and regulations. But I'll try to touch upon almost every phases, one or two, two to three tools. And in the control phase, I'll briefly talk about 5S and Pokayoke. I have already talked about actually. Yeah. If time permits, we will expand it further, as I told you. Okay, so let us try to do a project. So as we are learning tools and techniques, let us do a project. A company wants to reduce the recruitment cycle time. Okay. So you have they have appointed you as the green belt. So you will be following DMAC, define, measure, analyze, improve, and control. In the define phase, you write a SIPOC and also write voice of customer. So here you have formed the team. You also form a team. Who's the champion? HR director. Who's the process owner? Recruitment manager. And who's the master black belt? It was me, right? I did this project in 2012. It has been now 11 years, more than 11 years. So first thing which you do is make a SIPOC. SIPOC is a high level 50,000 feet view of your process. You don't go into the details. And it is mostly when you are doing a SIPOC, it's like a systems approach. Okay, let me tell. I have taught you too much today. So let me take the advantage. If you see here, this is how a typical organization operates. Yeah. Carefully, if you see, this is S for supplier. S for supplier. I for inputs, P for process, O for output, and C for customers. SIPOC. So when you're doing a SIPOC, you can have a look at it, how the things are done. So it can have two purposes. One is to train others, and the second part is develop a system-oriented mindset, not the silo-oriented mindset. Supplier input, process, output, and customer. SIPOC. All the notes and everything are there already. They're very much part of the training material. And the idea, the way we conduct the training program is that you don't have to study for the exam, just directly appear for the exam, and our success rate is 100%. Some people are asking, right? Success rate is 100%. Yes, we are proud to tell you that. The way we explain, you can answer or crack any exam, any type of exam. So we have done a SIPOC, supplier input, process, output, and customer, SIPOC. So I have first, generally when you do the SIPOC, you start from right. So you start with customers. Identify the customers. Yes, so Suresh is asking, for Greenbelt, is it a full day course? Yeah, it's a full day course, but you can also do, we run 4 batches actually. Morning batch, 2 hours batch. Then evening batch, 2 hours. You can choose anyone. Don't have to jump from batch to batch. So choose anyone. It's a weekday batch, what I just told you. And a weekend batch is happening on Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays, depending on what is the in which country you are in. So those who are in Riyadh, they can attend Friday and Saturday, and those who are in the rest of the world, so that you can achieve, you can join the sessions on Saturdays and Sundays. Yeah, and for yellow, this is the course. This is the course. That's it. So now coming back, so I have identified my customer. Then I go to the output. I have also understood my output. What is output? Recruited employee. Then basic process, open DNS, etc., and welcome candidate on board. This is the process, high level process. Then comes inputs, IT system, job description, CVs, etc. and then suppliers of those inputs. So now I've stopped thinking about the problem. I have just looking at the process, because problems are in the process. 85% of the problems are in the process, not in the people. People are not responsible for bad job, unfortunately. If you are a manager, you may feel very uncomfortable with this statement. See, no one comes to the organization thinking that today I will commit mistake or delay to know, but they still commit mistakes because it's designed in the system. It's designed in the system. Yes. Errors are designed in the system. You may be surprised to know. See, if you every day you are committing, let's say, rejection of 2%, means that is designed in our system. Like designed unknowingly, of course. That is the voice of the process. So I've got a SIPOC. By the way, we also prepare you for the interviews. For every tool, we have got some videos, interview videos we call. I'll just show one demo. After that, of course, I'll not keep on showing all these videos because they are there in your learning management system if you are enrolled with us for being build a black belt. So let me just tell you about interview question. So suppose someone asks what is TMAC, you can answer this question.
We are discussing about the Lean and Six Sigma interview questions. Let me talk about SIPOC. SIPOC is a tool derived from Deming's systems approach. He used to say that 85% of the problems are due to the processes and only 15% are contributed by the people. It is a tool that gives you 50,000 feet overview of the process. If you give me only one page to give maximum information about a process, then I would use a SIPOC. So if you are asked about the SIPOC, then you can say that it is a tool that is used to see the overall process in one instant. It gives the whole picture of suppliers, inputs, process, output, and customers. And the SIPOC, the acronym, stands for that. It makes us follow the systems approach of Deming. It is usually done in the define phase immediately after you have written the project charter. Once we know the project, then we make a SIPOC on the process in which you are doing the project. This helps us to focus on the process rather than blaming the people for all the defects, errors, and delays. To make a SIPOC, we move from right to left. That means we start by identifying the customers, then the output, then process steps, and the inputs and the suppliers. SIPOC helps us to identify the inputs or the X factors which are influencing our output, that is the Y. Because Y is function of X, SIPOC is the starting point of using the statistical methods. After that, you can give an example of a SIPOC of a process from the organization for which you are appearing for an interview. I hope you found this useful. If you liked it, then you can forward to your friends too, and keep letting me know which questions you would like me to answer.
Okay, so these videos are very much part of our training program. So when you attend my live training, training is live, of course, but we also give you the videos. So later on, if you want to revise the concepts, you can always do that. Okay. So see, when we talk about data, there are three responses. We do not collect the data, or they want to, I don't want to give you the data because you'll make graphs and charts out of my data, and then you will reveal my inefficiency to the whole world. I don't want to give you the data. Or some people may say, we have too much of data, but I don't know what to do with that. Yeah. And or sometimes people say, I don't know much of statistics, mathematics. I hate mathematics. It's fashionable to tell like that. Analysis is too complicated. But all these excuses are not valid today in today's world. Why? Because we have softwares. I'll demonstrate some softwares to you. Okay. And thanks. I would like to thank you for everyone. I had sent out some of my my past students, my link of today's training. So anyone who has received the link from some of my past student, or if you just let me know, have you received your this link from some of your friends? Just let me know. I'll like to say special thanks to all these people. Yeah. Okay. Now, do you agree? You said so. If you from Ahmed bin Said, okay, Thanks to Ahmed bin Said. Yeah, okay, thanks a lot. Yeah. Yes, Durga, please go ahead. Yes, please go ahead. Yeah. So now, some of you said you can measure. Some of you said you cannot measure. Let me tell you, you can measure everything. I told you already, right? Taranath Rai. Oh, special thanks to Taranath Rai. Okay. UAE, yes. Okay, Rida, thanks a lot. So, Firoz Bhamani, give my special thanks to Taranath. He attended my training program, I think, 8 years ago. And after that, his career zoomed like anything. And he did, I still remember, he did a very good project, very good project. And the way he presented itself was superb. I still remember. So we make you efficient, right? And the people, if they have referred to you, definitely they'll tell you that we make everyone efficient. Now there are two types of data, and I promised to tell you that how can you measure everything. So there are two types of data: continuous data and attribute data. Continuous data has got like it has got a possibility of a decimal points, like possibility of a decimal point. It's not like necessary. Like your procurement time can still be 55 days, 55.5 days is possibility. And it has a unit always. Unit is always there. And the thumb rule is a good sample size of 30 to 50 is good enough for any type of variable or continuous data. Continuous data, variable data, they are the same thing. Similarly, attribute data. Attribute data has got categories like gender. Gender is an attribute and its category is male and female. Yeah. Male and female. Thumb rule is around 200 to 1100 sample you should collect if you are dealing with attribute data. Good. If not, you would like to revise. Okay, no problem. Let me revise.
Hi, if you think something cannot be measured, then probably it is attribute data. Now let me tell you, how can you measure anything? There are two types of data, continuous data and attribute data. Continuous data can be represented on a number line. It can have a decimal place. It can also have a unit. Say, for example, age, height. Age is 52.5 years. That's my age. Height, maybe 180.1 centimeters. Cycle time of a process, 3.5 hours. Or procurement time in an organization, 120.3 days. These are all continuous data because they all have a possibility of a decimal, means they can be expressed in decimal points, and also they all have a unit. Now let us talk about attribute data. Attribute data can be expressed.
By the way, this video was done 2 years ago, so my age is now 54.5, right? Almost going to touch 55 this year. Yay. Okay. Okay, now let us talk about attribute data, right? Attribute data. What is attribute data? Attribute data will have always attribute, then a category. Then you can count how many, what is the frequency of one category, what is the frequency of another category.
Hi, I'm Amitabh.
Okay. Oh, sorry. I restarted from the beginning.
Height, age is 52.5 years. That's my age. Height, maybe 180.1 centimeters. Cycle time of a process, 3.5 hours. Or procurement time in an organization, 120.3 days. These are all continuous data, because they all have a possibility of a decimal, means they can be expressed in decimal points, and also they all have a unit. Now let us talk about attribute data. Attribute data can be expressed in categories, and categories can be counted. Say, for example, if you want to measure happiness, so easiest way to measure any attribute data is to create a category, and if possible you can create a binary category. A presence or absence of that attribute can be one of the simplest categories. So if I take the example of happiness, two categories I can create: happy, unhappy. So if I want to increase the happiness in the employees in the organization, then I can always count how many employees are happy. Let's say 60 employees are happy and 40 employees are unhappy. I can express this as proportion. That means proportion of happy employees in my organization is 0.6 and proportion of unhappy employees is 0.4. And it can also be expressed as percentage. Now this proportion or percentage, they don't have a unit. And a count, like 60 employees, I can't have 60.1 employees who are happy. So the count will not have any decimal point. So this is what continuous data and attribute data is. It is very important to know the difference between continuous and attribute data. And it is very important to understand what is continuous data and what is attribute data, because the tools which you are going to use in the measure and analyze phases, they depend on what type of data you are dealing with. If you are dealing with continuous data, then you might use histograms. If you are dealing with attribute data, you may use pie chart or Pareto charts or bar charts. If you are dealing...
So just to repeat, if you are dealing with continuous data, then you will be using histograms, right? Like for example, let me explain this part. Yeah. Let's say recruitment time. Okay, I want to know recruitment time. The recruitment time of a company, right, is 55.2 days. Okay, that is continuous data. So this is continuous, right? Continuous data I can express as histogram. 50 days, most of the time it goes to 55 days, 60 days, and sometimes 65 days. Right? Histogram can be used in continuous data, but for attribute data, like attribute data, customer satisfaction. I told you attribute has got an attribute. So let's say customer satisfaction. Customer satisfaction. I will get a category there. Now I can have 5 categories: very, very happy, customer highly satisfied, satisfied, neutral, not satisfied. I can have 5 categories. I can have 2 categories also. See, binary is always possible. Binary, 2 categories always, presence or absence of that category is always possible. So I'll just say happy, not happy, customer satisfactory, satisfied, performance satisfactory, or dissatisfactory. Yeah. Then I checked with my customers, and out of 50, 30 were satisfied and 20 were not. Proportion would be 0.6 and 0.2. Sorry, 0.4. Yeah, 0.4 out of 1. Proportion. Portion, in one portion, One portion. This is one. So proportion is 60 and 40.6. Some people also can call it 60% and 40%. Proportion means in one what portion? That is proportion. And if you're asking about, let's say, percent, cent means 100. Cent means 100, right? Percent means in 6. Yeah, in 100. So you convert this circle into 100, then 60 belong to one and 40 belong to another. Now you cannot make histogram here. You cannot make histogram here. You have to make a bar chart. Dissatisfied and satisfied. Okay. Now you can also do a pie chart. Pie chart. 60, 40. Or you can do a Pareto, like if you have multiple categories, you can say which category is highest, etc. Maybe Pareto I'll talk a little later. Pareto has got many other uses as well. Now you know when to use what chart. Not only that, we'll also learn if there is a combination. I want to see the combination and I want to correlate the data. What to do? It depends on, again, what you are trying to correlate. Yeah. So briefly, I will play the video to explain that, but after that, I'll explain that in detail. Okay. After that, I will. Hi, I'm. Okay. Hi. I know that. Hi. You're Amitabh. I know. Okay. Yes.
What is continuous data and what is attribute data, because the tools which you are going to use in the measure and analyze phases, they depend on what type of data you are dealing with. If you are dealing with continuous data, then you might use histograms. If you are dealing with attribute data, you may use pie chart or Pareto charts or bar charts. If you are dealing with combination of continuous and attribute, like in inferential statistics, then you may be using box plots and scatter plots and regression, ANOVA, chi-square, etc. So the tool usage depends on the type of data you are dealing with. So it is very important to understand the types of data. More about it, we will discuss in measure. Hi. Improvement of safety standards for your employees.
Then, after you have learned about this, basics, right? By the way, I did not talk about, there is an average and standard deviation. I'll briefly talk about that after a while. But now let us finish our define phase. So we are in define phase. We have done a SIPE work. Now we'll create a project charter. Okay. Then we will say that today my problem, you have to write your problem statement and a goal statement. Problem statement should be written in neutral way, means don't assign any cause, don't blame anyone for your problem statement. Just state the problem as it's. Today, my recruitment is taking 50 days. That's it. Why it is taking 50 days, I don't know. And then goal statement is that I would like to reduce this 50 days to 30 days by July 20, whichever you have to put the date there. Now, please remember the goal statement should be SMART, specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound. And it should be relevant to the problem statement. Don't write a solution there. So we have written down recruitment time is now 50 and I'd like to bring it to 30 days. That's it. And it is going to save us around $300,000 per annum. Yearly calculations of the benefits are usually done. Now, you are not sure that you'll really get 300,000, but once I improve, let me improve. If I am able to get the people faster, I may produce more. And during the whole year, I can produce more, right? That will become my profit. That completely defined phase. Now go to the measure phase. In the measure phase, what you do? In the measure phase, you collect the data. Now, please remember the why. The why means here the measure of the output. I told you, output, everything, every process creates an output. The measure on the output, which is also known as CTQ, is we denoted by Y. And the measures on the processes and inputs, we call it as X. And we say that Y is function of X, means the output depends on input. Now you will say, what's the big deal in it? Everyone knows, but still, we don't follow it. We are worried more about the output. Results. Output is the result, right? We are more worried about the results and we forget about the X factors. Focus on your X factors and automatically the Y, the output will be taken care of by the system. Yeah, you have a process, you have a system in place. It will produce output if your inputs, your X factor. So focus on the X factor, don't focus on the Y. Focusing on Y will give you stress. Okay. But focusing on X factors will solve the problem. It will improve the Y. So don't worry about the why. Why is just the symptom. Symptom that something is wrong with one of the X factors. When you go to the doctor, yeah, doctor gives you the medicine for not the symptom, but for the root cause, right? Let's say I go to the doctor and I say, I am having fever. Now the doctor is a Six Sigma, doctor, let's say. So he will say, well, I cannot improve you unless I measure. So if you're having fever, I'll measure the fever. Here the Y, the output measure is the temperature, right? You say, okay, your temperature is like, so what? So now he's not going to reduce only my body temperature. He will not tell me, sit, there's a specially designed refrigerator for you. Sit there for 2 minutes, come out, your temperature is okay. He doesn't say. He actually collects more data from the process, from me, like verbal data. Then he asks me questions. Then he also takes sample of blood, X-ray, etc. All these things. He analyzes the root causes because in his mind he has studied in his MBBS and MD that this particular fever, there could be many X factors. A cause and effect diagram is what causes the fever. There are multiple, 50, 60, 100 causes. Out of that, he will just choose one and he will give medicine for that one cause. And he knows if I attack this root cause, whatever it is, it could be viral infection, it could be bacterial infection, it could be anything. He gives medicine for that. So similarly, like a green belt or black belt, you are like a process doctor of a process, physician to the process. The process owners will come to you, the managers of the process. Oh, my process is having disease, having fever. Okay. Like delays is a fever, errors, high costs, inefficiency. These are all examples of symptoms that something is wrong. Something is wrong. Right? But you have to collect the data from the process and get what is wrong. So don't focus on effect, focus on the causes, problems. Okay. Now let us learn some basic statistics before we go to the measure phase. It's very now, uh, I can't teach you the details how to make a proper histogram, but I can just demonstrate today. But if you join my green belt training, we teach everything in detail. We explain what is variation, how to measure the variation using standard deviation. We even derive the formula for standard deviation. A derivation of formula for standard deviation, I will not be doing in the class, but the link I can give it to you. Standard deviation. What is standard deviation? That you can watch that video later on, and I have there derived the equation of the standard deviation. So by the way, manually you don't have to calculate the standard deviation anymore. Nowadays you have got Excel sheet, you have got Minitab. So I'll show you how to do that. But once you know the standard deviation of the process, average and standard deviation, you can predict about the future of the process. That's the beauty of it. So my team, my great guy Naveen, oh, superb. Yeah, he's an expert. He's already put in the chat box. Yeah. So thank you, Naveen, for that. Great. So standard deviation, if you want to see the derivation, like the formula, if you are interested to really understand the standard deviation, please watch this video. Please, 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 please. Now coming to, you can make a histogram. Let me show you how do we do that. Okay. So I've collected the data, let us say. We have collected the data, 15 samples of recruitments. One recruitment took 52 days, 47 days, 50 days, 54, 59, and so on and so forth. It will always have an average. It will always have a standard deviation. Stat. Oh. So the average is 50.33. You can see that, right? Average is 50.33. And the standard deviation is approximately 5. Okay. And the median means the midpoint of the data. It divides data into two equal parts. So 50% of data is below 50 and 50% of the data is above 50 here. Okay. Now it gives me some good information. And using Gaussian theorem, what is Gaussian theorem? Let me see. What is Gaussian theorem? Mr. Gauss, he studied this curve. This curve he studied. And he said, an interesting thing he found was that too in 17th and 18th century he found, without any calculators and laptops and mobile phones, that most of the processes in the world, they follow this distribution. Normally they follow. That is why he called it as normal, because it's normal to obtain a normal distribution. And he said that this will have average and this will have a standard deviation. You can easily calculate it. And the beauty of this Gaussian theorem, we can say Gaussian theorem, Gauss, Carl Friedrich Gauss. Carl Friedrich Gauss was the name. He found that every process has got average and every process has got standard deviation, and 1 time plus 1 time standard deviation plus 2 times standard deviation plus 3 times standard deviation minus 1 time standard deviation minus 2 times standard deviation and minus 3 times will contain, within plus or minus 3 times standard deviation, will contain 99% of all the population. I'm talking about the population, means all the recruitments coming from the same process, of course. Average is 50 and standard deviation is 5 here. Yeah, let us say average is 50 and standard deviation is 5 here. We found that, right, just now using histogram. and average is 50. 1 time standard deviation is how much? 50 plus 1 time standard deviation will be 55. 2 times standard deviation will be how much? 60. 3 times standard deviation is how much? 65. Similarly, here it is 45, 40, and 30. I hope you got it. I hope you understood how I got 50, 55, 60, and 65. Because 50 plus 5, 55. 50 plus 2 times 5 means add more one more 5 is 60. And one more 5 is 65. So can you tell me 99% of the recruitments in this company are taking between how many days? Taking how many days? 35 to 65. Yes. Right? I hope you got it. I hope you understood this. 50, then 55, 60, 65. So Akil Ahmed is telling yes, thank you. Thanks for that. So 35 to 65. We call this as control limits, lower control limit and upper control. And usually we will make a control chart. So 35 is lower control limit and 65 is upper control. Right? 35 to 65 is my control limits. And these are LCL and UCL, not the customer specification limits. Customer tells me that, well, you should take not more than, let's say, 40 days. So specification limits 40. And I am between 35 to 65. So in this case, what I have to do? I have to shift my process. I have to change the DNA of my process, isn't it? Right? Lower control limit and upper control limit. Now there are new lower control limit and upper control limits. They are totally new. So you can change the control limits, my friends. How? By improving a process. Are you getting it? By improving a process. And that is the whole intention of a Six Sigma project. So don't worry about this variation. Like, sometimes people are lost in this variation. Like, if I tell you one recruitment took 40 days, another recruitment took 50 days. Why this variation? Why this variation? You don't try to explain. This is the natural variation of the process. We say the process is under control. Okay. We say process is under control. Here also process is under control. So under control means process is predictable. It's not going up and down, wild, unpredictable nature. Let me make this process unpredictable, let's say. So what's happening here? Whenever you are going beyond the control limit, means now I don't know what's going to happen. Within the control limits, I know 99% of the time it will behave between this range. But if it goes up, well, something special has occurred. We say special cause. We call this as a special cause. Special cause. And what we call it is here, if it is under control, we say common cause. Common cause means within the control limits. Special cause means outside the control limits. Special cause means something special is happening. Let me explain this concept. Let's revise this concept. Yeah, of control limits using one video. Let me pull out one video from my video kit. See, actually, I've given lots of the best way to access all these videos is go to YouTube channel. You can do it now as I'm opening my video. Go to YouTube channel, search for Anexas, and click on subscribe. You will get, as soon as you click on subscribe, you will get access to all the videos. You'll get access to all the videos. Now, I'm going to revise this whole concept. Yeah.
A final note before I close the data collection topic is that data collection can be time consuming and expensive. The information. So if you want to make changes, go ahead with it. And your data collection plan should be such that it should be able to gather data about both X factors and the Y factors. Once you have collected the data, then it's time to display the data. We also use descriptive statistics here, so you can use a histogram, you can make a control chart, you can display the data collected as run charts, etc. To give you a little bit idea of what is control chart, let us take a simple example. Suppose I collect the data of my travel time from my home to office every day, and I find that on an average I'm taking 30 minutes and standard deviation is 5 minutes, and we know how to calculate the standard deviation and how to calculate the average. Now if I plot the data on a histogram, then lower control limit would be minus 3 sigma limits, that will be 15 minutes, and upper control limit would be 45 minutes, that is plus 3 times the standard deviation. So lower control limit being 15 and upper control limit being 45, I can say that my travel time is going to vary between 15 to 45 minutes. So you can expect me to travel to my office every day between 15 to 45 minutes. If someone asks me why this variation between 15 to 45 minutes is there, I can tell him that it is due to common cause variation. What is common cause variation? I can say that the variation between 15 to 45 minutes is due to lots of factors. These factors can be the traffic on the road, the weather, the car I use, my mood, or it can also depend on at what time I start from my home. So a lot of factors, which we can call it as X factors, are affecting the travel time, which is the Y here. So I can make the statement that the variation between 15 minutes to 45 minutes is due to the common causes. Means all the causes are acting on my system and producing this variation. This is known as voice of process, as if my process is telling, my traveling process is telling that I will take between 15 minutes to 45 minutes. Now if I take 60 minutes to travel to my office, then same question is asked to me, that why did I take 60 minutes, then my answer won't be that all the causes are acting on my system and producing this variation of 60 minutes. I might be able to point out a cause. We call it a special cause. So I may say that I took 60 minutes because maybe today there was too much traffic on the road, or it can be any factor. So when I go out of control limits, I can specify a special cause, and we call this variation as a special cause variation. So we have two types of variation: common cause variation and special cause variation. Common cause variation is part of the process, part of the natural variation of the process, and special cause variation is assignable variation. I can assign a cause to that particular event. Now, what is the difference between common causes and special causes? For special causes, you need to take immediate action. Means you need to take a prompt action so that you are able to bring the process within control. But for common causes, you should not take any specific action. Usually, the common cause is within the control limits, and if you want to act upon the common causes, you might have to change the control limits, and changing the control limits takes effort. You may have to do a DMAC project. You may have to do a lean project. You may have to do a Six Sigma project, and that's what we are doing. That is why we say that lean and Six Sigma is applied to chronic problems. A process is behaving in a certain way. It is behaving within some control limits for a long, long time. Last 6 months or 7 months, your procurement time has been, say, 120 days plus minus 30 days. And I would like to change the control limit. I would like to change the DNA of my process. And that is why I would need to do a Six Sigma project. To understand the variation a little more, let us take another.
So that was about, again, a revision. So I hope you understood what is common cause, what is special cause, what is under control, what is a control limit. It is calculated using plus minus 3 times the standard deviation. So I hope you are still with me, although I'm talking about a little bit of statistical concepts, but they exist in nature. They exist. Even if you like it or not, they are there. So better know about them and use them to your advantage. Otherwise, your competitor will use them, right? They they would not stop. So better you also learn. So, and if you learn this, because see, these are all concepts which are present in nature, and this will help you to improve your own process. Your machines, they have normal distribution, they have a voice. Your processes in hospitals, infection rate, that is a control limit. Historically, for the last 2-3 years, you are within this range. You need to make a change. Of course, you have to change the control limits. That's what you have to remember. Change the control limits. And that's the real statistically significant improvement. Not like last week my sales, like I'm taking example of sales, let's say. Sales was $40,000. Today, this week it is $54,000. I'm very happy. It is just due to the common causes. If it is within control limits, don't even feel happy or sad. That is natural variation. Natural variation. But yeah, if it has gone very, very high up and very, very low, beyond the control limits, that means there's something special has happened, something to learn, act on it. It could be positive, it could be negative. Yeah, but this is known as statistical thinking. Statistical. And managers who manage using statistical thinking are rarely wrong. They would generally make right decision based on data. Deming used to say, in God we trust, rest others bring data. In God we trust, rest others bring data. Means I'm not going to trust you unless you show me the data. As simple as that. I may say, I've got 30 years of experience. Yeah. So you can say, if you're a green belt, you will say, well, sir, you have 30 years experience, but I don't trust you unless you show me the data. Yeah. You can always say, I have respect for experience, but I don't have trust. Yeah. So you have to remember that part. And now, so having learned, so you have really learned a lot. Let me, still we have time. So let me explain to you. So let us go further in the measure phase. Now I won't cover, obviously I can't cover all the tools of all measure phase. So what I would do is, let's say, I'll continue with the project which we were doing, recruitment cycle time. And if you see, we have created a, we have collected the data of recruitments. We have done a histogram. We also define a defect. What is a defect? Specification limit of the customer is any recruitment going beyond 60 days is a defect. So how many defects? 27 defects out of 47. So we will not calculate percentage, we'll calculate per million. See, percent will show our error as like, say, 1% means like 99% good quality. 1% means 1 percent. 99%. Good quality. 1% is a defect. I'm talking about here a defect. Means you're at 99%, you may feel happy about it. But if I just express this per million, so 1 in 100 means 10 in 1,000. 1 million. In 1 million, 10,000 defects. Wow, now I don't feel happy about. I'm motivated to improve, right? So we calculate defects per million opportunities. So that's what we did here. Defects. How many defects per million? 27 divided by 47 into 1 million. For percentage, we multiplied by percent. Cent means 100. Per million, we multiplied by per million. And DPMO, defects per million opportunities, is how much? Something. Then we go to a table. And this table is coming from Z table. I cannot explain that part to you in the short time we have today. But there is a table that I can tell you. And then this table will yes. So this table, I will look at the corresponding, like say, for example, if I have 500,000 defects per million opportunities, I am at 1.5 sigma. If I have 200,000 defects per million opportunities, I have 2 sigma. So sigma level will increase if I reduce my defects. Okay. So you calculate the sigma level, and once you calculate the sigma level, that completes your measure phase. Then you go to the analysis. Why? Why this delay? You like to know. So you can use process mapping. There are 2 doors you can use. Either process door or data door. Process door means you'll map the process as is, how the things are taking place, and you'll try to, you'll do a Gamba walk, try to identify the non-value-added steps and try to reduce them as much possible. But in the data door, you do a cause and effect diagram, control impact matrix, Pareto chart, box plots, scatter plots, regression, etc., etc. Let us see one by one. First, process door. So now you will expand the process map. You will map the process. Okay, we'll map the process. Okay, detailed process map. And then you'll identify the waste, the 7 waste I was talking about. Oh, this is too much of motion, movement. This is a check, rework, go back. If something is lost, go back. It's a waste, right? So all these things lead to a lot of knowledge about the process. So much of waste. People realize I'm involved in so much of waste. So you can also apply escape analysis. Escape, eliminate, simplify, or combine, automate, and parallel. Again, escape explanation. I have got a video. I will put in the chat box. You can just have a look and see what is escape. But in short, I can tell you. Ask these 5 questions. What are the 5 questions? ESCAP. Can I eliminate that step? Yes, of course, I can eliminate. Eliminate, because this step was designed 10 years ago, 20 years ago. Now that step is not relevant. Most of your processes which are designed for like what you are following were designed maybe 100 years, no, it's not 100, maybe 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, 20, 30. A process designed 30 years ago doesn't know you have a mobile. You're still following blindly some things. Eliminate those steps. Combine. Can I simplify? S means simplify. C means combine. Can I combine these 2 steps? Okay. Can I automate? Yes, of course. Can I make them parallel instead of series? Yes, why not? Escape technique. Now let us look at the cause and effect diagram. Cause and effect diagram, you invite people from different departments and they write all the possible causes, whatever they can think of. And they use man, machine, material, method. There are 6 M's. Usually you use 6 M's. So they have classified all the causes into 6, like man, machine, material, method, environment, etc. And there is a very good cause and effect diagram video, which is also very much part of our Anexas YouTube channel. And you can have a look at that as well. Okay. Now there are so many causes, and I cannot deal with so many causes, isn't it? So then Pareto, Mr. Pareto, Wilfredo Pareto comes to our rescue. And Mr. Wilfredo Pareto was an Italian economist who found that 80% of the wealth in Italy was with 20% of the people. 80-20 rule. Yeah. 80% of the wealth was with 20% of the people. And he found this rule everywhere prevalent. 80% of the crops were produced in Italy from the 20% of the variety of the crops. Your business also, if you just have a close look, 80% of their revenue is coming from 20% of your customers. That is known as 80-20 rule, Pareto principle. Pareto, Wilfredo Pareto. And just do that. Pareto. I'll show you Pareto, how to make it. But before that, let me also tell you, when you are brainstorming, see here, this is like when you are generating the causes, you are brainstorming. Now, brainstorming can be done in analyze phase also to generate root causes. Brainstorming can also be done in the improve phase to generate ideas. There are different types of brainstorming techniques. One is 635. 635 technique, just watch it. I think more than 100,000 people have watched it on our YouTube channel. Some of the videos have been watched 1 million times, 1.5 million times. Yeah. I just today you watch those specific videos which I'm talking about. 635 videos. 635 techniques. 6 people write 3 ideas in 5 minutes. Okay. These are 635 techniques. But before that, let me show you some basic ground rules of brainstorming. Basic ground rules of brainstorming.
Once we have collected the data in the measure phase, now it is time to analyze. After all, we have collected the data to analyze and get the root causes.
So let us talk about some of the basic rules of brainstorming.
And you should also communicate to the participants about the time, venue, topic well in advance, so they are mentally prepared for brainstorming. As I told you that brainstorming is used for either generating the possible root causes or getting the ideas to solve the problems. There are certain rules which need to be followed in brainstorming. The rules of brainstorming are: give equal opportunity to everyone who is participating. So tell them to participate, and you can use different techniques. As I told you, we'll be learning in the improve phase. Capture all the ideas, so document all the ideas. Whatever is being discussed, whatever ideas the participants are given, someone should be there to document, or a scribe you can appoint to document all the ideas. Leave your designation and ego along with your shoes outside the meeting room. That means don't think that if you are senior, your idea carries more weightage. So obviously this ground rule should be very clear to everyone, and everyone should be encouraged to give an idea, and everyone's idea should carry equal weightage. There should be a non-threatening environment. When people are giving ideas, they should not be afraid of giving ideas. So you should create an environment where people should be encouraged to give the ideas. Also, we should ensure that wherever the brainstorming is taking place, there should not be any disturbance, so people are focused on brainstorming. Sometimes people might deviate from the topics. There is a tendency that some important issue crops up during the discussion. So at that time, you can always create a parking lot saying that, well, this idea or this issue is very, very important, and we can park it to be discussed after a while once we complete the brainstorming on this particular topic. We should encourage people to fantasize freely. We should not put brakes on our thoughts. So you can give some out-of-the-box ideas, you can give some wild ideas, and if people are giving you wild ideas, they should be encouraged. If you give a specific duration of brainstorming, we should try to complete the brainstorming within the time duration and defer evaluation. Now, this is one of the rules which is often violated. People start discussing the ideas. Someone gives an idea and someone else says, well, it will not work in an organization. Or some other person gives an idea and someone else comments that, wow, it's a great idea. So don't evaluate. Reserve your comments for evaluation at a later stage. When you are generating the idea, when you are generating the root causes, they are not to be evaluated. You cannot say that it is a good idea or this is a very good root cause which you have thought of. No evaluation, just write down whatever is being suggested. Generate quantity, do not worry about the quality at the initial stages. So you have to generate lots of root causes, lots of solutions, more the better. A pearl diver, he dives into the sea to find the pearls. If he just collects 10 oysters, the probability of getting the pearl is very low. But if he collects thousands of oysters, the probability of getting the pearl is very high. So similarly, if you want to collect great ideas, some of the out-of-the-box ideas, some creative ideas, then definitely you should create more and more ideas. So how to generate those ideas? There are different techniques. Some of these techniques we'll be discussing in our improve phase, but right now we are in analyze phase, and as I told you, either you are using cause and effect or tree diagram, you can use brainstorming, and the first brainstorming is, interestingly, to find the root causes. We can use brainstorming to generate a lot of potential causes of the.
Yeah, so that was about brainstorming, and interestingly, brainstorming can also be used to generate the causes, as we saw. So we have got, no, we have multiple causes. Then you can reduce. Yeah, I can't work with so many causes, isn't it? I can't work with so many causes. So I do a Pareto analysis. So maybe I can use voting technique, like people feel that most of the time this particular cause occurs again and again. Or I can actually collect the data. Which cause is occurring more frequently? So I arrange them in descending order. The highest occurring causes, upfront CV screening, negotiation, and the contribution is also given, like what percentage. So the typical Pareto looks like this. Yeah, typical Pareto looks like this. And in Minitab, let me show you in Minitab. So you list down all your man, machine, material factors, man-related machine factors, machine-related. Okay. And let me make a cause and effect diagram in just few clicks. I make a cause and effect. You learn all these tricks in my session. Please join my sessions. Yeah. Now cause and effect diagram. Then I collect further data. Which causes occurring more frequently? So I've got the reasons why the delay is there. So many reasons are there. Which reason is occurring more and more, like more and more? So assessment time, JD not available. So which is appearing most of the time? So what I'll do, I'll ask Minitab, please make me Pareto chart. Please do a Pareto chart on this column. Pareto chart in the column. And assessment time, job description not available, approval time, and types of hiring. These are the 4 major areas. Okay. Now I need to Focus on only those areas which are contributing to 80% of the problem. So 20% of the causes are responsible for 80%. To let me focus on that and forget about the rest. That is what is Pareto. You should use Pareto in life too. We are bothered about so many things, but we should focus on the top 20%. Forget about the rest. Yeah. Then we collect further data and we can further validate using different techniques like, what are these techniques? Box plots and scatter plots. Let me explain to you what is this box plot and scatter plots. Now, if you remember, I told you about the two types of data, continuous and attributed. Now, if I want to correlate, is the recruitment time affecting the customer satisfaction? Maybe sometimes, yes. So when I want to establish a relationship between two factors, one of them is continuous and another is attribute, then we can use box plot. And when both of them are continuous in nature, then we can use scatter plot. See, continuous and continuous. Then I can use scatter plot. Let me give an example. Great. And by the way, we are also live on YouTube. So if you're interested, later on, you can watch this video any number of times. Just wanted to tell you. So don't worry, I'll be a little fast now because I would like to cover more things. So continuous and continuous, like for example, if I time taken to complete an activity and the experience of the person. So more the experience, time taken to complete an activity reduces, right? Highly experienced people take less time. Now I'm so much experienced person. I'm conducting a training program in less time. I can teach more. Yeah. Right. So here, when I am seeing the correlation, is experience correlated to time? There is a correlation. I can reveal this using scatter diagram. Okay. Whenever I have one continuous data and another also is continuous data, I will use scatter plot. And equivalent of this is regression equation. I'm not going to detail about that for the time being. So just remember. And then we have got attribute data. Attribute data, like for example, let's say my production in a manufacturing company is A shift and B shift. Now shift is attribute data, right? A is more and B is less. I cannot have scatter plot. I make box plot. Box plot actually divides the data into two equal parts, median and below half and upper half. So in general, here you can say shift A, the production is higher. Shift B, production is lower. Means shift matters. Shift matters. Shift is the root cause. Yeah, we say shift is the root cause here of low production. A shift or B shift is having. So let's investigate what's happening in B shift and then we will try to improve it. Now let us do the same philosophy, apply the same philosophy here. Now I have got recruitment time and approval time. Are they correlated? If you take more time for approval, more recruitment, are they correlated? No, both are continuous data. Both are continuous data, isn't it? Approval time is continuous data and recruitment time is continuous data. So I will do a scatter plot. I'll do a scatter plot. Recruitment time and approval time. So I've made for both. recruitment time and approval time, and later on I'll explain and explore recruitment time and the assessment time. So both, whenever I'm dealing with continuous and continuous, I'll use a scatter plots. That's what I've done. Okay. So now, what do you think? Approval time is correlated, isn't it? Approval time is correlated. As the approval time increases, this increases. Right? But assessment time and recruitment time are not correlated. There's no relation. So I will be wasting my time if I try to reduce the assessment time because it has no impact on the recruitment time. But yes, if I just focus on approval time and give ideas related to that, it will reduce my time. I hope you are with me. Till now, you are with me. Similarly, let us look at this. Oh, thank you, Teja. Thank you, Ragesh. Yes. Now, let us look at recruitment time versus job description, available or not available. Now, can you tell me job description is continuous data or attribute data? Job description is expressed here as not available, available. It is attribute data. So I cannot make a scatter plot. I will make a box plot. So let me make a box plot. Discrete data. Yes, you're right, Muhammad Yusuf. So now let me make recruitment time versus job description. Yes. Okay, job description available, you are taking less time. Job description is not available, you are taking more time. So clearly job description availability impacts. So I will make a policy. Every job should have a job description. And straight away it will reduce around 20 days of my recruitment time. Okay, great. Now let us look at the other one. There are three types of experts. Or there are three types of hiring: expat, local, and shareholders. Three. Does it really impact the recruitment time? So in this case, again, I will make a type of hiring. Yes. Doesn't look like, they're almost same. The variation is also same, average, almost same. It's not statistically significant. But no, if you do a ANOVA instead of box plot, you will do ANOVA. Equivalent of box plot is ANOVA, attribute and continuous ANOVA. And here, ANOVA will give you p-value. So p-value, if it's less than 0.05, you will say yes, type of hiring impacts. If it is more than 0.05, it's not impact. So that part anyway is coming on advanced courses. So you join my green belt sessions. So if you found it useful, okay. Still we have time, and I'll show you. I told you, I promised, I think, 5S example of healthcare, right? So before that, let me also tell you that I run an interactive live session of green belt and black belts, evening, morning. Yeah. So Naveen, had you sent me the recent one, the updated one, or it's the same thing?
It's the same thing.
Same. So I will just show you instead of although a lot of things are remaining, and still time is remaining, but some people are asking me, how to enroll. So let me tell you. Oh, let me ask you one thing before. Would you like to, you know, let, would you like to, are you interested in learning further as green belt or black belt sessions? So if you are interested, please stay in touch. Please send me a WhatsApp message, or better, you can respond to the email. And also connect with me on LinkedIn. You can write me a LinkedIn. I always check my LinkedIn messages, right? You can write me a LinkedIn message also. Okay. Okay, so thanks for giving me your heads up for that. Most of you are interested. Okay, so let me, if you enroll for our green belt and black belt trainings, inability to do anything if you face a problem in your organization is gone. You'll get rid of this. You'll get rid of waiting for promotion. You'll get rid of dependence on a job. You can start on your own. You can start on your own. I've written a book also, the Anexas story. Uh, if you have time, if you read books, please read this book, the Anexas story. I have given lots of case studies in that. And I've told, of course, in a story format, how I started, how, what difficulties we faced, then a lot of clients where we did a lot of improvement. So you'll be able to reduce the cost, improve quality, become a problem solver, consult your own organization, and you can start on your own if you become a green belt and a black belt. So these are the batches. Oh, just a minute. Let me tell you. Let me show you the recent ones. If you can send it to me once again. Okay, let me check. Yes. So I'm just coming out with the dates. I'm just putting. I'll just wait a while. Wait a while. I'll be back. Sorry. Yes. So you can project it. Yes. Okay. Thanks. So these are the dates. Training on weekends, Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays. Uh, or so up to you what training you want. Weekends, then Friday, Saturdays you can take, or Saturday, Sundays you can take. And weekdays it's morning 2 hours, 2 hours, 2 hours every day, or you can choose the evening session 2 hours. And you can attend our sessions any number of times. After you finish this course, you can attend again, no problems. Plus, you'll get all the video lessons as well. You can watch them whenever you want. And your next weekend batch is starting. When it's starting? January 28th. Or if you are not free on January 28th, then you can start February 25th. Weekday, of course, is starting from 29th Jan till February 27th. And this was about 2 hours training, right? But if you do it on weekends, it's 8 hours training. Can you go to the next one? The training, these are the trainings, timings. These are the training timings. So please take a note of it. And yes, that's great. And there are some free workshops also, which we keep conducting. So you can even, the free workshops coming up. So many free workshops, CPHQ, PMP, Yellow Belt, Data Science, Power BI. These are all trainings I keep conducting free of cost. feel free to attend them. Okay, great. Okay, the timing also was given. Timing. Can you please? So timing, all the timing, India, UAE, KSA, Europe, US. I think US we run separate batch, but now right now, so still note down. Great. Oh, if you want to register, okay, let me talk about. You want me to tell you? Okay, so people are asking questions about the fees. Okay. Don't worry, I will just open my slide and I'll show it to you. Mr. Andrew Robertson with us, who's the CEO of King Edward VII Hospital in London. And we would like to know from Andrew that what. So he's the CEO of Edward Hospital, and they are also our clients. They're similarly Bank Muscats. Then so many, I have got multiple videos, and they're all telling you the same story that it really works. Now this is the normal price of our green belt, but as a special rate of New Year January offer, lots of things have been taken off. So a lot of things have become free, and if you are able to register today or tomorrow, then further 50 to 70%, further. So it will come at a very, very good price. Further 50 to 70%, plus a lot of package. You can get free extra trainings, free master black belt also. If you go for green belt and black belt, you can go for master black belt free of charge. So lots of things. Great. Now let us come back. So the link is given for you to register. The exact pricing, it also depends, because today is the lowest price. After 3-4 days, automatically it will go on increasing, right? So you can just check on LinkedIn and sorry, not LinkedIn, link. No, click the link which is given in the chat box, and you can always find that. Okay, great. Now let us come back. Let's complete the learning part. So we did a cause and effect diagram. Then in the improve phase, we know the root causes. In the improve phase, we worked on the round robin, different types of brainstorming techniques we learn in green belt. Use any one of them and reduce your recruitment time by attacking the root causes. You can also do an FMEA, failure modes and effects analysis. So please, one link, sure you should watch. Sure means sure, you should. That is FMEA, failure modes and effects analysis. It was used by Apollo missions for the first time when sending the man on the moon, and they did not want to fail. So they used FMEA, failure modes and effects analysis. So there's a link which my team is going to put here. FMEA, yes, it's already there. You can always watch this, and then on this page also, this is also there. The template is also given to you. You can download the template and use it tomorrow. Tomorrow you can use it and improve your process. Easier way to improve the process. I hear you. I can be seen conducting FMEA for Pepsi unit in US, United States. So now, we have got lots of ideas, we implement those ideas. And once we implement the ideas, you can see that, yes, we have to put control phase. So control means I would like to hold the gains. Whatever improvements have happened, I would like to sustain it for a long, long time. So I'll put review systems in place. I'll put training systems in place. And all these things, control phase. Okay, let's yeah, so ladies and gentlemen, who wants to be a green belt? Okay, let's go there. First question on your computer screen for $10,000 is the inputs to a processor called. Right answer will give you $10,000 and wrong answer will not give you anything. Yes, it is the X Factor and Mohammad Yusuf and Afshar Ali Naqil and Bhanga, Teja, Rakesh, Dinesh, Mohammad Shahid. Yes, Paul. Okay, now, yes, so many of them are giving right answer. बिल्कुल सही जवाब, आप जीते हैं $10,000. The output of a process is, बताइए कि इसका सही उत्तर क्या होना चाहिए. So, right answer will give you $100,000. Okay, yes, you're right. Most of you are right. Yeah, anyway, I just skip this exercise. So, well, I think let me tell you how Lean Six Sigma is implemented in an organization. So what happens is, first you take improvement projects. You have different businesses, departments, choose the top two, three problems which they are facing, convert them into a project, and then assign these projects. Champions are the head of the departments, HODs. So generally we conduct a half-day to one-day champions training where we orient the senior managers to Lean and Six Sigma, and they nominate the black belts and the green belts, and then these black belts and green belts do the project under our guidance. And you have steering committee, and steering committee generally takes care of the direction, sets the direction of the initiative. So once that is done, then we conduct a training. Here, you can see that I'm conducting a training which has a game as well. So I gave them a problem to solve. They were not able to solve using the usual techniques. Then I told them to use DMAC, and they were able to solve the problem very easily. Your team name 1, 2, 3. Anti-Muda. So now what has happened is, now once the leaders got convinced as a champions training, now they've nominated the green belts, and these are the green belts who have come to the session. These are the green belts who have come to the session, and they are actually starting the training, and also they will be doing the project simultaneously. So here it's an ice. Your team name 1, 2, 3. Your slogan 1, 2, 3. Together everyone achieves more. And your song. And then this is National Healthcare Service. They are also our clients in UK.
Well,
so now after attending the session, they complete the project and they present the project and get certified.
We have Alex with us, and he has done excellent Lean and Six Sigma projects in National Healthcare Service and in hospitals. So, Alex, would you like to tell us something about it?
Hello, I'm Alex Wells, Head of Service Improvement at the Royal Liverpool University Hospital. I've been really fortunate to present today on how us as a trust are using Lean and Six Sigma principles to deliver better care for our patients. I've presented today on a lot of the work that we've done around how we've improved patient outcomes, reducing mortality, improving length of stay, and also talked about how we can actually realise some financial benefits from that. Over the past 2 years, we've been really fortunate that we've done some good work, and it's actually delivered us £2 million worth of quality efficiencies through delivering better patient care.
Okay, so that was about. Okay, if you like that same thing we have got for Bank Muscat also.
Hi, my name is Rajiv. I work with Bank Muscat at Oman and
Multiple
Anexas
companies,
consultancy led by
multiple, Nakil is the largest logistics company of Saudi Arabia. We have done for over the period of 10 years, more than hundreds of projects.
My name is Mohammed Al-Bayati. I'm the CEO of Naql. Through Anexas, Mr. Amitabh has teach me and more than 1,000 employee of Naql, Six Sigma and Lean processes. This affected our bottom lines by millions of riyals, and it is having a big impact in changing our company from a local company to a regional or multinational company. Thanks to Anexas and Mr. Amitabh. Thank you very much.
Okay, so now let me ask you, how many of you are there who are present from healthcare? Let me show you some examples from healthcare also. So let me show you some 7 or 8 waste example from healthcare, right? Okay. So there are 7 or 8 types of waste: intellect, scrap, weighting, inventory, motion, transportation, overproduction, and overprocessing. Okay. So overpricing, overtime, overstaffing, these are all hidden wastes. And so I'll show you, like for one Chinese hospital, we had conducted yellow belt, green belt, black belt, CPHQ trainings. First, we map the process, and you'll find that out of these so many steps, only 2 are adding value. What is the value? Because patient is looking at from the blood test, of course, the status of his health. And that is only shown when you draw the blood and you process the blood test. So remaining is non-value added activities. So they reduced it and they reduced the blood test processing time. Similarly, 80% of the nurse calls in the, they are housekeeping in nature. 80% of the nurse calls are housekeeping in the sense that, my pillow cover is dirty, my bed sheet is dirty. Now, if you are bothering the nurses who are supposed to give the medicines, etc., with the administrative work or housekeeping work, it is waste of intelligence of nurse. Nurse will forget to give you the medicine. So this is an example of waste of intelligence. So idea is that, see, one of the hospitals could double the cardiology lab capacity by reducing the wasteful activities. Similarly, diagnosis to exam time will reduce from 2000 minutes to 64 minutes. So after observing the flow of patients, the cardiologist office to the diagnostic lab, 2 physicians decided to see the patients in the diagnostic lab. Patients make appointments to see the cardiologist there, and the daily schedule for diagnostic exam was changed so patients could get both exams done on the same day. Earlier, they were done in different days, and they had to travel to 2 different locations. Now, same location, everything is same. So see, there's so many ways you can cut down on waste. There's so many case studies. So idea is to generate value and reduce the waste of unnecessary motion, unnecessary waiting, unnecessary transportation errors. A person who's sitting idle is waste. Equipment which is idle is waste. Yeah. Any skill or talent not utilized is a waste. Yeah. in lighter vein, like you can have a look at it. Walk to the elevator 1 minute, elevator wait 3 minutes, elevator travel 1 minute, lab to walk to lab. So all these things, you know. Okay. So much of waste. Yeah, so much of waste. Similarly, radiation equipment in lab, they are on different floors. Okay, make them on the same floor, reduce the waste. Interruption, eliminate the exam room interruption, it will reduce the waste. Pokayoke means mistake proofing. Some, like rice cooker. It will not burn the rice. Automatically it gets switched off. Even by mistake, you cannot commit a mistake. It's what is known as pokayoke. So you can use smart machines. Even by mistake, they will not commit a mistake. Right. So this is example of pokayoke. Abnormal ranges will be rejected automatically by the system. So even by mistake, you will not commit a mistake. You cannot connect oxygen to nitrogen because the connections themselves are different. Even if you want, you cannot connect. Another example of pokayoke, fixed number of gauge packages, complete catheter kits for insertion, prepackaged medication card with correct dosage. Yeah. So all these things. ADNOC, Aramco, SABIC, all are telling us. Deputy Health Minister of Saudi Arabia, Dr. Tarif Alama, Dr. Muhammad Abdullah Ali, they are all our students. Yeah. So good. So if you are interested in our sessions, I would be happy to welcome you. And please register in the link, and we'll be happy to welcome you on in our next Green Belt and Black Belt sessions.
In Six Sigma, because we felt that's the right methodology to improve our processes.
So I reached out to our operations team and we headed straight here to Formula Rossa, one of the signature rides here at Ferrari World at Abu Dhabi, and we decided to work on how we could increase the reliability of the time it takes to update our queue time boards, because as you know, every minute that guest waits in a queue line is super important.
We had the brainstorming session with the team and we went through a few topics and then we chose the most appropriate one for the course. The chosen topic was reduce facilities management service request closeout time.
So I was eager to use statistics and data analytics to solve a business challenge. One of the challenges we had is the erosion of the retail per capita spend in Ferrari World Abu Dhabi, and that was my topic.
Well, actually, being an HR professional, recruitment lead time has been always a problem across the board. So taking that subject in a specific will help me improve onto the recruitment cycle.
So what we had worked on was redesigning the product launch process, which we've now implemented.
We had a discussion within our team and the most critical area that we faced was our closing process. So we decided among ourselves that this is the one that we should go for.
Yeah, the course that we did was a week-long online facilitated course. It was fantastic. It showed us the whole methodology behind Lean Six Sigma, and it also provided a various amount of tools that we could be able to use to improve all of the existing processes that we have here in the park.
Well, it was 1 week training. It was very interesting and always energetic in terms of interaction in the class. Every single day has been different and the knowledge sharing has been remarkable.
This gave us a broader perspective to understand the issues, and it gave us opportunity to do some brainstorming, and we were able to come up with better solutions from a wholesome perspective.
It was a very stimulating experience where we met every day with the colleagues, all very engaged, eager to learn and keen on and willing to actually pause, step back from their day-to-day work to get some new perspectives. So it was really a refreshing exercise.
When an issue comes to us, we try to think about it from a Lean Six Sigma perspective. We try to define the issue, we make a project charter about it, we try to analyze it. So it has changed the perspective of how we look at issues.
Statistics allowed me to understand the root cause of the problem and come up with the very targeted improvement initiatives that we aim at implementing within the year. So every dirham per cap increase would represent 1 million revenue uplifts in a standard year, so the impact can be significant.
Well, this program is in benefit not just for me as a recruiter, but it helps the whole organization in terms of how we can identify issues, how we can look into problems.
So what's really exciting is that since we completed the course and we implemented all of the changes that we worked through, we have 100% seen a decrease in the time that it takes to upload the QTime boards, which is really cool. And one other really exciting thing is that one of the recommendations that the team and I put forward through in our project, for the project I should say, is that has now been funded through the business. So you'll have to watch this space for more. I can't tell you just yet.
I would say satisfaction, quality and experience, and I say that because my project was focused on how we can improve the product launch. So we wanted to get customers satisfied and improve the customer experience, and we wanted to improve the quality of the products that we were issuing to guests and the overall process that we had within the business to launch new products.
I would say that it has definitely brought consistency to the team, awesome efficiency for sure. And the only other word I can kind of think of is it's brought alignment, not only alignment within the department, but with all of our rides here, also alignment within the business and even with our competitors. So it's a win-win.
I think the biggest personal improvement is giving a framework for doing process improvements. I've always worked in customer experience, and so we're always looking for new ways to how we can improve the customer experience, but the training has now given a framework and a methodology to make sure that we can be consistent and using the best practices to do it.
I'd say that while a green belt certified professional learn how to identify variations in a process, the green belt expert would really act as a change agent within the company and lead very complex and large-scale projects. So I would love to.
So with that, I'll leave you with some of the videos of Lean Six Sigma and healthcare, let us say. We can start with Lean Six Sigma and healthcare, and then of course Lean Six Sigma in 100 seconds, in just 1 minute, 1 or 2 minutes. What is Lean Six Sigma? Let us have a look at that, and see you soon in our training programs.
Hi, I'm Anexas Master Black Belt Amitabh Saxena, and let me talk about importance of Lean and Six Sigma and healthcare. Lean Six Sigma concepts are used in industries all over the world to improve a process, eliminate waste, and reduce defects. In the healthcare industry, defects not only affect revenue and customer satisfaction, but they signify the difference between life and death. Lean Six Sigma is critically important in healthcare because it helps in reducing defects that can result in medical errors. There are so many challenges in the healthcare industry, like an aging population, shortage of workers, increasing litigation, and many more that require long-term improvement. Because healthcare industry deals with saving lives, errors cannot be accepted at any cost. So, how does Lean Six Sigma really help? With the help of Lean Six Sigma, you can shorten the waiting times in hospitals. The lesser the people wait, the efficient the hospitals will become. Reduce medication errors and even try to completely eliminate them. Improve turnaround time for lab results. Provide better care at lower costs. Ensure that the medical staff makes fewer errors. Reduce mortality rates, improve patient care, improve quality, and improve overall patient experience. How can you do that? by training the staff as green belts and black belts and allowing them to do improvement projects. Lean Six Sigma training and certification in healthcare provides the tools needed to address the challenges at various levels. It is a time for the healthcare industry to utilize Lean Six Sigma methods to its fullest and drastically change the healthcare industry for the better. Don't you want to be a part of the industry where patients are happier, physicians want to work for you, the cost is as low as possible, and at the same time, efficiency is high? If your answer is yes, then Lean Six Sigma is your choice. We have implemented Lean Six Sigma in more than 25 hospitals worldwide, including ministries of health of 4 countries, and we can help you too. Lean and Six Sigma is an improvement methodology which reduces costs, defects, errors, cycle times, and increases the customer satisfaction, resulting in better efficiency and higher profits. In short, it does whatever a CEO or a shareholders want. It is used in all domains, be it manufacturing, services, oil and gas, IT, construction, banking, healthcare, textile, telecom, BPO, and whatnot. Here, we convert the improvement opportunities in the organizations to projects and train people like you who are working in these processes as green belts and black belts who execute those projects in 5 phases: define, measure, analyze, improve, and control. In define phase, we set the direction for improvement by writing a problem and goal statement and forming a project team. In measure, we collect the data and understand how the process is performing. In analyze, we analyze the root causes. We map the process, identify the waste, use cause and effect diagram, Pareto analysis, graphical analysis, and hypothesis tests. In improve phase, we generate ideas to take care of root causes using lots of tools like brainstorming, mistake proofing, FMEA, etc. And in control phase, we sustain the improvements for a long time by using process management and control charts. To become a black belt, you just need to know addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, and of course, a lot of fire in the belly. Do I need to tell you that? Of course, it is Anexas where professionalism meets fun and where people fall in love with statistics and process improvement. Well, that's what our clients tell us. And we take pride in telling that we are the best. If you are not doing Six Sigma with us, then you are missing something.